Hello and welcome back, Gorilla Man's Garage. We're inside today because it's raining outside. You're here today for part 3, or the final verdict for the RUKO F11PRO 2 camera drone. Is it worth it? Is it not? Do you buy it, sell it, keep it, trade it, whatever. What are the final thoughts, etc., etc. There's 2 versions of this video, the short version and the long version. If you want the short version, go to this link up here. This is going to be the long one. We're going to go through everything that I went through to determine the final outcome. Okay, let's get into it. So you chose the long version. If you want the short version, back up, there you go. Okay, the long version. You took the red pill. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Okay, the RUKO F11PRO 2 video drone, 4K video, 6K photo. Let's see if it's worth it. Okay, remember, retail price currently as of this is about $450 US. Only comes in one package with the 2 batteries, controller, drone, beautiful case. It's very well constructed. It's a very nice sized drone. Okay, it really is. It really feels nice in the hand. Good quality. It looks solid. Okay, not too much in the way of sensors and stuff. It's got a TOF on the bottom. It's basically for indoor flights. But anyway, it's got a TOF in the new version. Okay, it feels very good for what it is. Okay, very good. Just put this back in here for now. Okay, so the quality is very good. The packaging is beautiful. It's a very sturdy case, meticulous to detail, as I mentioned before about the coverings and the motors and stuff. Attention to detail, very good. It does have a 1888 number for quality control concerns or getting a hold of customer service. It does have that avenue that people actually do respond to you and do email you back and forth. It may take a couple of days here and there, but they do respond to you, and you may have to go back and forth a few times before you get the translation proper to what you're asking. But let's get into this, okay? I went through a lot of this on my other video, but I'm going to itemize it because people have told me, oh, you're nitpicking, but people want to know, okay? Manufacturers want to know. I've had some come to me saying, okay, we're thinking about putting this product in our inventory. Can you tell us what's wrong with it? Sure, that's what I do, okay? Because if everybody, like all the infomercials that are out on this, everybody's just, oh, ooh, gaga, oh my God, it's wonderful, it's amazing, look what it can do. It can stand on 2 legs and it has 4 propellers. Yeah, okay, but what can be improved? Well, here's a stroke to the end here. Here's a spoiler alert. Nothing can be improved. You'll find that out later. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, we have a whole list here, and I'm going to go through a scrolling list. It'll be in the description below. Check that out. Okay, we're going to go through each one, why I chose to say these things, and I've listed all these, and I've sent them all to RUKO. Okay, let's get into it. As I said, here's the list, and it does get kind of lengthy, but it covers almost everything I found out about it. And I find out a lot, and I find these things from asking the questions, getting the answers, not understanding the answers, and going back and forth, back and forth. So it's taken about 3 weeks to get most of these answers, okay? And they're not available online. They're not available on their website or in the manual, and there's things in the manual that aren't here. It's just... Anyway, let's get into this. Let's start at the top. The RUKO F11PRO 2. Over 250 gram doesn't meet their criteria for advantages. Well, if you saw my video on the short version, the advantages for having a drone that's over 250 grams, okay, are basically that it's a better performer and users have higher demands. Better performer would mean better wind resistance, good speed, more powerful motors, and a better camera. Well, it's got an old camera. Its maximum speed is only 8 meters per second. It's only got an advertised range of 3 kilometers. And what was that other one? I was there, more powerful motors. Well, it does wind resistance, level 5. That's synonymous with a sub 250 gram drone. So if those things are for over 250 gram drone, it doesn't stack up. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, next one. I say only a level 5 wind resistance. If you're over 250 grams, a professional is going to, semi-professional professional is going to buy this. The photographer type people are going to buy this because they want to do real estate outside or lands outside in weather that may not be perfect, like your sub 20 kilometer an hour winds, etc., etc. It might be gusty. It might be, you want powerful motors. A level 5 wind in a drone that's over 250 grams is not going to cut it. It just is not going to cut it. Okay. 1/3.2 camera. The 1/3.2 camera has been around for 7, 8 years, more, whatever, way back from the A3 from Femi. Okay. Potensic had the 1/3 camera. They did a really good job with that. Not saying that RUKO didn't do a good job with this camera for what it is. It's not bad. But it's 1/3.2, which is even smaller than the one that's on the original Atom. Okay. So you're going to have dynamic range issues, and couple that with you can't change it. It's autofocus, auto everything. That's it. There's no white balance change, exposure, nothing. Okay. Night mode. It does have a night mode, but basically it over contrasts things. So I wouldn't. And night mode, if it's really, really overcast and you do it, you do get a little bit better exposure, but it's not really that, it's a gimmicky thing. It's touted as having a 6K photo, but it's in 16:9 format. Most or all that do a 48 megapixel camera shot are 4:3. And their 12 megapixel is basically a 4:3 cropped in the middle. This one has a 16:9, and I guess it's almost a 6K, but not quite, but almost. But it's only 18 megapixel. So it's okay. And the 12, the one lower than that, the 12 is okay. But it's like Goldilocks syndrome, because there's 3 types of sizes, okay? There's the 16:9, a 4:3, and a 16:9 almost, which is the 6K/18 megapixel. And I'll show you a slide here of the differences. Goldilocks, skinny, normal, and fatter versions. I don't have else to explain it, okay? So there's distortion, and the true one is the big one, the 5700 by 3200. That's the true distortion. That's normal. Okay. The other two give you a skewed version. Don't know why. And the coloring is off slightly. So there you go. So again, there's no camera adjustments. You don't have an EV value change. You can't change that. No ISO, shutter, white balance, contrast, saturation. It's really aimed at someone who doesn't really want to do much with photography, just point and shoot and have a nice picture. And it does take some nice pictures, okay? No problem. But it's not semi-professional or professional by any means. By any means, okay? I spoke about the distorted photos, Goldilocks effect, okay? FAT32. Now, FAT32 is an old DOS format for your SD cards. A Mac computer cannot natively read FAT32. They have to use Mac DOS, okay? And in the video size restrictions, FAT32 has a restriction on size. And depending how they've manipulated it, you may get different video formats. You may get different results from using exFAT versus FAT32. But the problem is, you'd rather use exFAT, but you can't, because it formats in FAT32. So you're stuck with FAT32, which means you're stuck with a file size before it splits. Okay? And then that can cause all kinds of problems as well. So having FAT32 is old tech, not new tech. So that's the problem. Don't like FAT32 restriction. H.265. It's got FAT32, which is old tech, but it's got H.265, which is new. But H.265, sometimes on some Windows, and you can only really use the SD card in Windows, properly. Some Windows platforms can't read H.265 natively. So that's a problem. You'd think you'd have the option of H.264 or H.265, especially when you're talking this level of class, entry-level budget, which not really, but drone. Okay, so I don't get why they only have H.265. Maybe because you can get a larger file because it's FAT32. Think about that for a while, but you'll get there. Okay. Okay, what I didn't know when I found out on my latest little venture, I went out to the new water tower, and I put this little clip up while I was talking. I did the water tower run. It did a really good job, okay? And when I'm talking here, I did a really good job of going around the water tower. I liked it. It was pretty good. Then I went across over the landscape a little bit, and I was still filming, and I was in 2.7K or whatever, still filming away. And I lost connection. Obviously, I lost connection, and blank, the video died. So every time you lose connection, it stops the video. That's not a good thing. Okay, 3 kilometer range is advertised, and basically 3 kilometers is minimal for a sub 250 gram drone. But it's not a sub 250 gram drone. It's touted as being a over 250 gram drone, which is meant for users with higher demands. Okay. Okay. 35-minute flight time on the battery, according to RUKO, only if it's fully drained. Why would you fully drain a LiPo battery? Could cause irreversible damage, and it's dangerous. Don't do it. But their tech support gave me an email, 35 minutes if you fully drain the battery. Yeah, what was one of the other ones I said over here for the tech savvy people or something? Okay, great. Anyway, TOF. The new version, because it came out originally without the TOF on the bottom, and this is the TOF on the bottom here. Okay, the one with the two little things, that's TOF. Okay, that's the down sensor, the obstacle flow. But yeah, the TOF. Now, it's not in the manual. They say they're going to update the manual, but in the manual, supposedly, if you look at under the U11 Mini 4K, which they came out after this one, and that manual is a page on TOF. Well, they sent me that page saying they're going to introduce that page into the new manual for the F11PRO 2, and it talks about the TOF, the time of flight, which is basically meant for under 10 feet of flight indoors. It's really an indoor sensor, really. Okay, but why would you fly an unprotected drone indoors that the sticks aren't very precise to begin with? So, and even the support person said, I would not recommend flying this drone indoors. There you go. Okay. Viginating. I'll show you some slides here on what I talk about that, a couple of them anyway. Viginating, I mean, when you're taking a video, and say you're taking it of a landscape, the center is where you're focused when you're watching a video. You don't really look on the fringes. Well, look on the fringes of this shot and this shot, and the fringes are not in focus. They're not. And I've noticed that on a lot of reviewers' videos, but they gloss over it. They don't mention it. But it's got some focal issues. I call it vignetting focus, whatever. Anyway, that's another one. Unsteady hover, RTH accuracy. I never, in all the 2 or 3 dozen flights I had with it, I never had it once be right on the money, return to home. Not once. And I've seen others, they're off by 6 feet, 8 feet, whatever, yeah. And some even more. I have seen some that has landed once in a while. And those are the ones that are on the video. But a couple of people, let's say a shout out here to Ready Set Drone and to Alien Drones, okay? Pretty honest reviews. Pretty honest reviews, I must say. Very impressed with those two, okay? But as far as accuracy goes, unsteady hover, in all mine, I've had it just kind of drift. So sometimes better than others, but never had it rock solid. Comes up and goes, never. Okay. Unlimited, okay, limited route planner. Yes, it's limited because depending if you don't know the secret that I mentioned in my first video, second video, you're stuck with a 300-meter radius route planner. So you can plot your route within that 300-meter radius. If you know what I was doing, which was go into the Find My Drone and then back out, go back into the route planner, you get 3-kilometer radius, which is really, really good. And you can plot your thing, and as you're flying it, you can go up and down and speed up and slow down, which is really, really good. But you can't save it. So you can't do it again. So you can never do the same route planner twice. So why is it a route planner? It should be just a point and fly. But anyway, it should be a waypoint mission planner, really. And then you can save things. You should be able to save it, but you can't. So again, go into the thing. Users with higher demands. It doesn't hit that mark. For me, anyway. The viewing map. Nobody would know this unless you accidentally came across it, and I call it an Easter egg hunt. Okay. Viewing the map, full-size map, unless you knew, and I did in my second video, that when you hit the attitude ball, it changes to a mini map, and unless you hit the left lower corner, where the G is in Google, the very lower left corner, it'll expand into the full map. Unless you knew that, you'd never be able to get into the full-size map, unless you go into the route planner. Okay? That was another concern I had. Some design flaws. Okay, we've got the OTG cable. The OTG cable comes out the front. Okay, and I showed this on this one before. Let's get this out here. Okay, so when we take this out, the OTG cable is in the front here. Okay, and it's stored in here very nicely. Okay, on the N1 controller and on one of the other controllers, it comes out the back. Because then you can put a tablet mount in the front, but you can't put a tablet mount in the front because that's where the OTG cables are. So that's a little design flaw, I'd say. A little design flaw and whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Battery fitment. Okay. When you put these, here we go, put this battery into the drone. There's a click. It's a very light click. It's not perfect. Okay, and this is very nitpicky. It's not very flush. Okay, there's a lip there. Okay, it's good that you can grab it here because there's an indent here. Okay, but it's not. That's the only part of the quality control I was concerned about. It's not 100% flush, and that is very, very nitpicky on my part. Okay, it's very hard. It's sometimes hard to get in, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, on that I will say I was a little bit nitpicky, as they say. Put that one back there. Okay, design battery. It also has here an auto takeoff button and landing button. Landing button I can see. Auto takeoff, I have no idea why it's there. No idea. You've got to hold it. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. The motors will start. Then if you don't do anything, the motors will stop. 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. The motors will start. Let go. Then you have to press and hold again for 3 seconds. Then it rises up. Well, it's like, boom, start, up, and you're up. It takes 10 to 12 seconds to get this by using the auto takeoff. It takes about 3 seconds to get it up by using the sticks. Don't know why it's there. Landing, that's another issue. You can hold it. It says it's descending. Let go. It drops down. I can reach underneath with my pizza box as it's descending and have it land on my pizza box. That's a good feature. There are some features I do like. I like the GPS fall. I like the fly around. I like the route planner for its simplicity, but I don't like that you can't save anything and you can't edit anything. So it's a point-and-fly program. Okay, there you go. But there are a couple of things that are good about it. Okay, the zoom function and the filters. The zoom function I've talked about before. They're in-app only or cache file sensitive. Okay, so if you don't have an SD card and you save your video and your photos to the phone, the zoom function transfers over to that video or photo. Okay, if you have an SD card in, they won't. It's in-app only. Okay, there you go. So if you're having a filter of black and white or whatever, cozy, hazy days, sunlight, whatever, any of that stuff, it's not going to be on a really, it might be in a decent photo, maybe the photos will work better, but you're getting a less than high resolution photo and video. Okay, so they only work in the app, not transposed to the video. Okay, that's the thing there. The microphone function, they say that if you're taking the video, if you activate the microphone function on one of the options, the flight options, when the panel comes up, or shown on the panel here, it comes up, you hit the microphone, then you start your video, it'll use the microphone of your phone or device, and you can record audio. Okay, so you just want that on your video. I don't know, okay, I've seen a couple of drones with that, but I'm not, doesn't matter to me. The gimbal only rises to 0. Okay, so that's horizon level. Okay, so I can't look up a little bit, even 10 degrees. Nope. And it goes down to 90 degrees. Okay, so it's 0. Can't really look up. Okay, that's just a little thing for me I don't really like that much. There's no controller or gimbal calibration. It is what it is. The sticks are, you've got to go like halfway, 3/4 away, and then it kicks in. There's no sensitivity adjustment. And there's no calibration for the sticks, like expos and stuff. And there's no calibration for the controller. And we're going to get into something more about that a little later down the road. The brightness on the monitor here, there's no such thing as brightness. It's one thing. It's great inside when you're in the shade. As soon as you're outside with any even overcast, you can't see it. And there's no way of adjusting that. No way of adjusting that. Okay. And if you saw the thumbnail for my last video, part 2, okay, and it showed on the face of it one of the issues. It does have random horizon tilts, and sometimes the props show up. Even though it only goes 0, it doesn't go up, the props come in the shot. Okay. Now, is that a design flaw? I don't know. Do the arms come too far forward? I don't know. Horizon, I've seen it where you'll turn around, and as you're yawing, it'll go, and then it'll come back again. As you yaw the other way, sometimes it'll yaw a little bit. It just means that the motors in the gimbal can't keep up to reality. So maybe the gimbal motors aren't properly tuned. But you can't tune them. You can't do anything with that. So anyway, the app loses some settings and restart. Well, the big one is if you put on your grid lines, every time you turn it on again, they're not there. So some of the stuff doesn't stay there all the time. GPS acquisition is very slow. To say this is a GPS drone in 2025, it's very slow to get videos in comparison to a lot of others. Okay, sub 250 gram, all the DJI drones, the Autel, the Hubsan, all that kind of, considerably slower. Okay, there you go. I've talked about the universal tablet holders that won't fit the controller. Here's a funny one. The user manual. The user manual is PDF, is an image format PDF, which means it's not searchable. Okay? So you can't search the user manual for something you're looking for. You got to know what you're looking for and you got to read the whole thing to find it. That's a small thing, but it's annoying. It's like when a real budget drone, a toy drone, comes with a printed manual or one that's only on the app, and I need a PDF of it. I have to physically scan every page, and every page is an image, and then it's not searchable. So there you go. I call this a NUI, N-U-I. And this is a biggie. This is a biggie. I was going to say it's N.F.G, but I didn't want to be crass or whatever. A NUI. I'll call them NUIs. Non-updatable item. The RUKO F11PRO 2 is a non-updatable item. They may update the app to include different things and change things a little bit here or there, but there's no way of updating the controller, the battery, or the firmware on the actual craft. There's no port on the craft that allows you to do that. So it's an as-is purchase. That's it. End of story. It takes autofocus, auto brightness, auto controlled photos and videos, and it's not upgradable. $450. Remember that one, okay? The price comes with 2 batteries. That's right. So if I go across the board and I look for everything that's got 2 batteries in a case, okay, over 250 grams, yes, there's not much in that category. Most of the ones that are over 250 grams that come with 2 batteries in a case are toy drones from places like GD Drones and things like that, JJRC, DRRC, etc., that are 2 gimbal and EIS at best, okay? But they're not near $450. When you get to that point, if you're looking for anything in a semi-professional manner, you're looking upwards towards the DJI, the Autel. You're looking at a FIMI X8 SE 2022, which is by far leaps, heads, stones, bounds ahead of this in so many ways. The negative to it is it's probably twice the size. There you go. So this basically is overweight for what it is, because it's got all the attributes of a sub 250 gram drone, but it's over 250 gram drone, which limits its use considerably, especially in Canada. Okay, and as they have told me, the reasons for having a 250 gram plus drone is you get better performance, better range, longer flight time. Well, the flight time is only longer if you drain it to 0. The range is limited to 3 kilometers, which you're never going to get anyway, but it's minimalistic. Better performance, wind resistance, nope. Speed, nope. More powerful motors, nope. So for the reasons they claim it's better to get over 250 gram drone, this doesn't hit any of those marks, even by their own recollections. And when I asked them who's it aimed at, who's this drone aimed at, they said semi-professional photographers, tech-savvy consumers, looking for users with higher demands and in a mid-range price zone. Well, I will agree, at $450 for 2 batteries, a case, in this quality, there's not much out there because the batteries are so expensive in the better models. But if you go under 250 grams that have way better specs than this, have more professional qualities, and I'll bring one out here. Here you go. The FIMI Mini 3 SE. Okay. When I got it, it was under promotion, and they come in promotions here and there. 2 batteries, okay, in a box, okay. $199. It's a 2-axis gimbal with EIS, but by far the best EIS I've ever seen. It performs like a 3-axis gimbal. Okay, has a problem in the sub-zero temperatures, but not as bad as some. Okay, but $200, maybe $225, $230, whatever, something like that. Okay, half the price of this. Outperforms this tenfold. So at the current price, it's overweight, it's overpriced, it's underwhelming, really. Again, would I recommend this as a purchase in 2025?
It's not my first choice.
There you go. And I have to follow that advice. I say, no, it wouldn't be my first choice. Okay. Or maybe my second choice. But anyway, that's the RUKO F11PRO 2 2025. Do not release it in Canada. It won't sell, RUKO. I'm just telling you this. I'm being honest, 100%. Okay. Should have come to me earlier. Got all this stuff before you went through any trouble, whatever. I cannot see it selling in Canada at the current price. If it's half price, maybe. I really like, it's got a really simple route planner that you can have fun with. It's got a really simple fly around thing. That's kind of good. And it's not that bad imagery. It's not great. It's not semi-professional. You couldn't use it on a real estate shoot. Not a chance. Okay. But it's not bad. So at $225, $235, you've got to compete with this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get where their R&D got this idea. Anyway, that's just me rambling. That's it. The finale, the verdict is not my first choice. Okay? Sorry about that. Anyway, till next time, take care. Ring the bell or hit the like. Ring the bell. Buy me a coffee. Too much here. I need another coffee. Okay? Fun stuff. Take care. Bye now.